Hello everyone, and welcome to another installment of the Kol Koreh online informational videos. My name is Dr. Rinat R, and I'm the founder and executive director of Kol Koreh, a non-profit organization that helps children with dyslexia and other learning disabilities. In our previous videos, we talked about what dyslexia is, how common it is, and how to help children struggling with dyslexia become resilient and independent learners. Today, I'd like to take a few moments to talk with you about interventions for dyslexia. Parents often come to me perplexed. Their child, who appears to be bright and motivated, is struggling to keep up in school. Often, the main difficulty that the child is having is mastering reading. Many well-intentioned parents have already tried interventions such as one-on-one tutoring or having their child pulled out of class to receive help in smaller groups. Yet they report that not much progress has been made and that the academic gap between their child and the rest of the class keeps on growing. The parents are at a loss, and many have resigned themselves to the fact that not much can be done to help their child in school. However, this need not be the case. With some guidance and education, the child can be on his or her way to experiencing academic success. Very often, it's not the lack of effort on the part of the child or parent or teacher that is at fault for the academic difficulty, but rather the type of intervention that is used. About 80% of children in regular education who are referred for extra academic support meet the criteria for dyslexia. However, dyslexia is the most common and the most overlooked and misunderstood specific learning disability. As we discussed earlier in the series, children with dyslexia can be found in every classroom. They are typically bright, talented, and motivated to learn, but their underlying learning disability makes it difficult for them to keep up with their peers. Often, well-meaning parents and educators step in with additional supports, but sometimes these supports do not translate to better school performance. This is because the support has not been tailored to the child's specific learning needs. Many children with learning disabilities are encouraged to find remediation within the regular education system. In Israel, this is referred to as shiluv, or integration. Children with learning difficulties are pulled out of class individually or in small groups and given additional support with a special education teacher. Although this approach may sound sensible, the problem with this approach is twofold. First, there are not enough hours allocated from the Ministry of Education, Mishrad HaChinuch, to accommodate all the students that need remediation. In order to maximize the hours given, children may be grouped together so that they can be taken out more than once a week. For example, if 2 children are given 1 hour each, they can be taken out together twice a week. While this results in students getting more hours of help, the help may not be intensive enough and or targeted to the specific learning needs of individuals in the group. Let's take, for example, a small group of children that are pulled out to receive support in the area of reading comprehension, which they all struggle with. Yet, one child may have difficulty with decoding words, another with fluency, another with limited vocabulary, and yet another with identifying the main idea in the passage. All of these difficulties require specialized forms of intervention. What helps one student may be confusing at worst or irrelevant at best for another. As a result, children are aware that they are getting so many hours of intervention and yet still continue to struggle. While they may conclude that something must really be wrong with them if all this support isn't yielding results, the reality is that the root of their difficulty is not being adequately addressed. The same holds true for children who receive once a week one-on-one school support. In order for real progress to be made to close the academic gap, it is recommended that students receive a minimum of 2 full clock hours a week of reading intervention. Usually an hour of intervention in school consists of only 45 minutes, where part of that time may involve waiting for the student to arrive and finding an available space in which to work. Controlling the noise level or outside distractions also may be an issue. Additionally, parents paying for private tutors may not be aware that not every tutor is specifically trained in teaching children with dyslexia how to read and process information. even if the tutor has background in special education. While they may have received some general background in the different types of learning disabilities, they may not have benefited from the specific instruction in the science of how kids learn to read and how to effectively teach reading. Remediating dyslexia is a specialized skill that involves properly identifying where the learning breakdown occurs and providing the students with the appropriate evidence-based intervention that addresses that specific learning need. It is therefore very important that the teacher who works with students with dyslexia is specifically trained in identification and evidence-based approaches for dyslexia. As a parent and your child's advocate, feel free to ask your child's teacher about their training background and experience in working with students with dyslexia. The better trained the teacher, the greater likelihood that your child will benefit from the instruction given. For more information, or if you have any further questions, Kol Koreh is here to help. Please contact us in Israel at 052-704-2700, or in the States at 718-713-8229, or visit our website at www.kolkoreh.org. You can also follow us on Facebook. Thank you so much for your time. Now, go make a difference.